Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 29th edition of the No Payne podcast. Today, we are graciously welcoming Elaine Coates from Calgary Renovation Contractors Association. How are you doing today, Elaine?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Of course, we're very happy. We love having a variety of guests. I think you are, again, one of the first associations that we've had here, so we're excited to have you. So we start with you telling us a little bit about Calgary Renovation Contractors Association.
Sure. So from here on in, you can call it C.R.C.A.
Yeah.
So it's not so difficult
Tongue
to
twister.
say every time. Take up half the podcast just on the title. So I started the Calgary Renovation Contractors Association about 5 years ago. And it kind of stemmed off my Calgary Women in Construction networking group that I've had for 15 years this year, actually.
Oh, wow.
So again, networking groups for people in construction. And as you all know, there's tons of networking groups out there, meetups and all these different things. Most of the time, they're just generic. Everybody's there, no specific target audience or market, so to speak. So these associations are meant literally, specifically to market and promote and guide construction people, whether it's a renovator, trade supplier, and very related to construction professional services as well. So it's a web-based, it's an annual membership-based association. And so you have your web ad with all of your contact information, your logos, your WWs, all that sort of stuff. So people know right off the bat when they hit the website how to get a hold of you. So all that information is included in the membership and the web ad that you have. In addition to that, over and above, I market my members 365 days a year. So if I'm driving past Jerome's Appliances, for instance, I'm outside photographing, tag the girls and Jerome in the office there, and they know that I'm in the background working for them 365 days a year.
Mm-hmm.
If someone doesn't have bricks and mortar that I can drive by, or I see their vans on the road. I think I've seen your vans on the road.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So take a picture and blog about it. Obviously, pull over and blog about it. Blog and social media about my members right off the road. So it's not just a membership and a web ad that you pay that sits on the website and collects dust. Like a lot of, some memberships are that way. If you don't work it yourself, you get nothing out of it. But I'm in the background and the foreground working on behalf of my members almost every day of the week.
Elaine is everywhere doing
Pretty
that.
much.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about membership. Do you want to tell us how you'd find members or cast them there?
Certainly. Again, I've been in construction since '99, so obviously I know a lot of people. Mm-hmm. When you're in any industry that long, you end up collecting a lot of friends and business people. So I've been in construction that long. I started out with my own central vacuum company early in the 2000s, and that was extremely successful. Still do it part-time, but not full-time. When you're getting past the 55s, tools get a little bit heavy. So when I've been on tools myself, I've been in the field at job site, which I absolutely love. So I have a really hard time quitting construction. It's kind of pulses through my veins. So members find me. A lot of members find me, so I'll direct them to the website. They'll fill up the application for membership, and it's not a big in-depth thing. It's just, this is what the association offers you. Also, what do you bring to the association? Mm-hmm. Right? Because everything has to be a two-way street. A marriage or a job, everything has to be a two-way street. So the application is filled out. Just because someone sent in membership money, I would not take it. I do like to meet and interview, whether it's a coffee or over a beer or something, and get to know the applicant. And you can tell a lot about someone's integrity in a 1 or 2 hour interview and social setting, so to speak, depending on which way we take it. And again, a lot of members find me, but the process is still the same. Mm-hmm. So it's a mix of renovators, so renovation contractors, general contractors, trade suppliers, plumbers, electricians, roofers, you name it. Interior and professional services as well, again, directly related to construction pretty much. Interior designers, the whole hodgepodge of even financial people that help with construction, insurance, that kind of stuff. So, because in the course of a life or a day, we all need pretty much everything in our life. Insurance, even hair. But I wouldn't promote hairdressers, but I have in the past. But so I like to have a nice variety of my member across the board as well. You don't need 20 quotes from a renovator. My goal is to be good. It's not to be big. I'm not building a huge organization. I want a good one. Yeah. So you don't need 40 or 50 renovators. I'm not
Yeah.
chasing the almighty dollar. The goal of the association is to prevent the homeowner or consumer, from walking into a bad experience with a renovator or a trade supplier.
Yeah.
Right. So that's my main goal is to prevent that from happening. And in 2022, with all the information that's out there, there's free information on City of Calgary. I'll talk to you till the cows come home on the phone if you have questions. There's the BBB. There's tons of free information out there. So they're really, the onus, really does sit on the homeowner to do their homework when in this day and time where there's tons of information out there.
Yeah.
So my goal is to help with that. If I get a phone call from someone saying, well, I need a renovator, I also ask them, what's your scope of work? I can give them a renovator, an interior designer, or whatever that maybe focuses on kitchens, but maybe doesn't have a specialty to do basement development.
For sure.
So then why would I give them a renovator that strictly does basements if they want their kitchen or their main done? So I also find out the scope of work that they want and try to give them, 2 or 3 renovators or trade suppliers that will serve their needs as well.
Awesome. So you said you do the little interview process. I'm wondering if you've ever had to deny somebody a membership or cancel someone's membership if they've proved, I don't know, done anything shady or just proved to not be someone you want to recommend to people.
Luckily, no, I haven't had to. I did get a phone call from a consumer that had very valid concerns about one company. So they weren't a member of mine, luckily.
Okay.
But I do keep that name in front of me in case they ever did apply or call. More than likely would reject that one just because it's, at the end of the day, it's my name and my company name out there
For sure.
that they're going to remember when things go sideways.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I don't just take everybody or anybody.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah, there's quite a few sketchy businesses out there just trying to.
And that's my goal.
You use the phrase, what is it, nickel or a quarter, something like that.
Save a nickel, spend a quarter. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know if it already
like
existed
that.
somewhere, but you save a nickel, spend a quarter. So, I did have one call from a lady. She was concerned about an exterior company. And at the end of the day, I won't even bother going into the story. But at the end of the day, I said to her, so where did you find this said contractor? Oh, Kijiji.
Oh.
So you try to save a nickel, you're going to spend a quarter.
Yeah, especially if Kijiji, you're going to spend more than a quarter.
You definitely. And another nice thing about my organization, it's a private organization incorporated. So not-for-profits, government agencies, the City of Calgary, you can call them. They can't give you a specific name and number. I can. So if someone phones me and wants, a roofer as a member of mine, I'd say, yeah, there's no Payne. There's, different names that I can hand out specifically. Whereas not-for-profits can't hand out a specific name and number. So that's another advantage my members have. I don't just send people to my website and go, oh, free for all, here's the website. I literally, right on the spot, I'll get into my phone and give them a name and a number, not just the name of a company. I give them name and cell phone number of my members.
For sure, that's
So
really good though.
It's like, and I also do follow-up to make sure my trade supplier has contacted that person. And also I contact the consumer that called. I get their information as well to make sure that my trade supply, my referral called them. They showed up. They did the job when it was done, how well it went. So I try to do that much follow through if I can as well.
Yeah, well, it sounds like any tradesperson or construction business there would be lucky to have you advertising for them or behind them with that.
They get their money's worth. I'm going to say that. They definitely get their money's worth out of me 365 days a year.
Yeah, with how much business you do have, there must be some crazy stories or something that comes along with that.
Well, I was on the, I belonged to the Home Builders Association here in Calgary for 20 years total. And 15 of that I was on the Renovators Council. And that actually is part and parcel of why I started this association and this group, because so many people are still getting, and I'm going to use the word ripped off, by renovators and trade suppliers. And there's so much information out there. Again, I can't say it enough. There's no reason to be taken by a renovator nowadays with all the information out there. Google reviews, whatever you want to use.
Yeah.
So because of the experience on the Reno Council, and it took me about 3 years to say this, I was even taken by a renovator in my own personal home renovation from a referral from a designer very seasoned designer, that I assumed would have given me a good referral. Not so lucky. So I've lived it. I've lived the nightmare.
So now you want to stop other people from going through
100%.
that.
And it's so personal. It's your own home. I don't care if it's your office even. It's your space. You own that. Right? So it's a real personal when it does happen.
Totally. I know I appreciate when people do research on roofers before I show up and everything like that.
Definitely.
And they're asking me questions. I'm like, you know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. It's nice
Yeah.
when they do that stuff like
And the
that.
thing about getting a few quotes from people, whether it's just now you might get a couple, might call a couple plumbers to maybe change your toilet out, but you're not gonna screen 5 of them. It's a toilet. Should
Yeah,
be pretty basic, but that can also lead to a lot of damage if they didn't do it right, seals, leaks, whatever. It can do a lot of damage also. But at the same time, when you are getting quotes and information from trade suppliers, for instance, with renovator or trade supplier, it's free information. It's free knowledge for you. Why wouldn't you want to make a few phone calls and ask some questions? Because you're learning along the way. It's free. It's free knowledge,
totally. Yeah.
right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing I hear that you host events. You've mentioned that you speak at quite a few events. Can you tell us about those, and are there any coming up that people could go to?
Certainly, yeah. So again, other than the online membership web ad that my members get advantage of, so it's one more place they're found on the internet when we're Googling. We also host in-person networking events.
Awesome.
And this is the difference as well, as I typically don't rent a hotel conference room. It's as a member, you qualify to host your own events. So trade suppliers, so they'll put on the event, whether it's a breakfast meeting, lunch and learn, or an after hours wine and cheese networking event. They provide that, and I bring the people. So I do all the marketing for that. So they also, in turn, get a ton of exposure just from hosting an event, right? And it's really not that expensive. We don't serve champagne and caviar, right? So it's definitely good value of a member hosting an event.
Totally.
The next one coming up, ironically, is May 19th. We've got it up on the screen there, May 19th. Becky's Draperies just over by Shaw GMC on 46th Avenue Southeast. We're using her venue, and the two other co-hosts, Jennifer Carr Painting and Michelle Murphy Interior Design, they don't have the bricks and mortar, so we've partnered up with Becky, who has the bricks and mortar. So all 3 members of mine, a couple are members of the Calgary Women in Construction, a couple are members of the Calgary Renovation Association. So they're teaming up and putting on a co-hosted event inside Becky's Drapery Doors on May 19th. It's a lunch and learn from 11:30 till about 1:30, whenever people are done networking and talking. So there's a nice lunch and knowledge. There's going to be some product suppliers in there as well. Some great networking. Encourage people. You do have to register in advance, so we know how many sandwiches to have. So we don't. Nothing worse than running out of food at an event.
For sure.
So that's coming up May 19th, and then we've got 2 events in June. As well, I believe the June 2nd and then June 15th or 16th. That hasn't been nailed down yet. Typically, there's only 1 event a month, but back in the networking game, and some of my members were chomping at the bit, so we actually have 2 events in June.
Everyone's trying to get up after COVID, I guess, then.
Everyone's scratching to get out, yeah.
Have these
so
events.
in order to not to go have to look for these dates, on the front of either of the websites, you can go on and subscribe to receive the events and information right to you. So CalgaryRenovationContractors.ca is that website, and www.calgarywomeninconstruction.com. So the information is always on both websites for all the events. But again, go to the website, get yourself on the email list so the information comes to you. I've learned as well lately with Google messing around, I check my spam folder every day because things tend to go into spam. Even people I'd been emailing for over a few years, it was still going to spam. So so events is a great way for me to market my members as well, and then for people to be feet on the ground, meeting each other face to face. And finding out what their business is and what kind of referrals they're looking for and growing their business that way.
Awesome. You definitely know how to describe these things. I'm running out of questions because you you knock off like 5 questions at once there. Any commentary questions or you questions, Brody?
I remember hearing something about a S.A.M award.
Yep.
I believe we had added that into the description of this video. I was hoping you could maybe elaborate just a little bit on what I believe it to be an acronym, S.A.M, S.A.M, if you want to tell us a bit about that.
So when I was still a member of the Calgary Home Builders Association, which is now called BILD, B-I-L-D, I, again, still own my central vacuum piping company. So we would rough in central vacuum piping, do the end sale, put the canister in, all the vacuuming tools, that sort of thing. So I am totally focused on customer service. So I actually did win a S.A.M award amongst the big players. There's all the big home builders and all the big trade suppliers out there. Little old me from my home office Did win a S.A.M award. I think it was back in '07 or '08, I believe.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, my installers were the night I was at the gala. They're phoning me like 11:58. Did we win? Did we win? But they were as invested as me because they're the one, and I was on tools a lot as well.
Hmm.
But those were the men running the pipe and running the company and doing what they do for me. So they were very pleased with. So it wasn't just my S.A.M award or my company S.A.M award. It was the installers I had as well. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great.
So you said you used to have a home office. Have you guys expanded to an actual facility office now,
Nope,
or is it
I
more
still
home-based
have a
still?
home office, so it's
Good.
you don't have to be big to be good. I can do a lot from a home
Oh,
office.
totally. I love a home office.
Yeah.
I got my own of those. I love it.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be one nice silver lining from COVID in the long run. I guess all the home offices that popped up
Yeah.
because of that.
Oh, 100%.
And I think a lot of people were able to streamline production and just having to
costs.
reduce travel time and everything else. I guess
Stay in
working
your
from home.
pajamas.
You stay
Pretty
in your
much,
pajamas.
All
Yeah,
day.
I'm
yeah.
in my pajamas now. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm in a company shirt. And another thing too, that being from a home office for almost 20 years back then, is COVID. That part didn't dent me. I didn't feel isolated and all. I didn't have to transition into all those different emotions that a lot of people had to go through. Changing my home dynamic and everything, because I already had the office set up, so it wasn't a big emotional change for me. So that helped a
Awesome.
lot.
Yeah.
And again, I get a lot more done because I do tend to be a workaholic, which I'm trying to rein in. But it's served me well so far. But it's time to slow it down for sure.
Yeah, you deserve a break probably. Sounds like you work a lot.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to tell us just specifically about the C.R.C.A? C.R.S.A.
C.R.C.A. Calgary
C.R.C.A. Wow, sorry, I
Renovation.
really butchered that one.
That's okay.
You gave me an abbreviation. I wrote it wrong. There we go.
C.R.C.A.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up putting the Contractors Association in the title in the beginning because I didn't want it to be C.R.A. Calgary Reno Association and get mixed up with the bloody government.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't want to be confused
No one's
with that
gonna call
entity.
you.
No relation at all. So, no, just like I said, it's a awesome organization. My members are fantastic. I've hosted thousands of events over the last 15 years between Calgary Women and Calgary Reno. Never had a bad event. I can have 12 people there, or I can have 60 people there. Phenomenal events. And again, as a member, you qualify to host the events. And if you don't know where to do it or how to do it, that's what I'm for. I coach and guide my members that are hosting the events. I was just at Becky's this morning, giving her the skinny on, the layout of her store and stuff, the space that we're going to use, what time I'm going to be there, and all those little things to guide them to. So it takes the stress out of putting on an event, because a lot of people haven't put on an event. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Where do I get a caterer? Where do I do this? So again, it doesn't have to cost a fortune, and it's really easy to do. Everyone has a blast. Everyone goes away with some great exposure. And I also pre-market the event weeks in advance. There again, that's where the value for your membership comes in. And post event as well. It gets flinged all over the place. I think I counted my social platforms, and again, I don't spend all day on them every day. Naturally, that would be my full-time job. But I poke around probably on between MailChimp, Facebook, LinkedIn. I've got three Facebooks, all that. Probably 12 or 15 socials that my members get thrown around on.
Yeah.
So it's very good value for the money, for the investment. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you've been in this, you said, I think 15, 20 years in this specific, with either before the C.R.C.A. or with a different renovation association.
Yeah. So construction, I went into construction November of 99, and I'm still here.
Okay, so that was like your first job that you kind of got into, or did you do
Yep,
something before
first,
that?
and I actually started
Awesome.
out, I was a sales girl in a car. Probably didn't even know what a Phillips screwdriver was.
For cars, you said?
No, I was a sales girl in a car. I
In
wasn't
a car. I was going to
I
say,
wasn't-
selling cars.
I wasn't in the field at the
Yeah.
time, right? Started out in a sales position. That didn't last long. Got right into the field. Yeah.
Well, it's good to get your hands on, because then people know you know what you're talking about.
I've been cold and dirty and wet and hungry. Yes. And I've been at job sites till 1 a.m. with my head up in the rafters running pipe.
Yeah, and now you're done with that, which is very nice to hear.
Yes.
Well, if you have do you have any? I
was going to say, actually, I think I had misdescribed something in the description for the video. I think I had mentioned that you were part of the C.R.C.A. for 15 years, but it was actually the Calgary Renovators Council that you were
Calgary
part of.
Yeah, so the Renovation
15
Council
years.
for build, I was on 15 years. Calgary Reno, I've had for about 5 years. Calgary Women in Construction's 15 years old this year, ironically.
Right.
How
well,
do you keep track?
my apologies. I mean, it's usually Carly doing all the fancy tech work back here.
Oh, you
So
know, minor
I
little
take
details.
full responsibility for
Minor
that
little
typo.
details. The fact that I've been in construction 99, I still love it.
Right. Well, we do have one more exciting piece of news. We have a mystery word winner, everybody.
Sweet. That was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad, you're a winner.
Excellent.
job,
He
Chad.
guessed the word. Remember is the winning
Mystery
word.
word.
So right on,
Remember.
buddy. Somebody I had known personally many years ago. Haven't seen him in a very long time, so I will likely see him face to face when I go and drop off the prize. So
Good job, Chad.
yeah, good job, Chad. Remember, Monday at 3 p.m. you're gonna go live with us, and you're gonna get a chance at winning some cash and other cool gifts, right? So we'll contact you before then, and cool. Well, good job at coming up with a mystery word, you guys.
Remember, it gets used enough. Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
also offering 2 tickets to my event in May.
Right, Mike is also helping to get some interest in these tickets as well in the
Great.
comment section here. So
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
so
a
these
$50
these 2
value.
tickets people can win, you said, or?
Yep. However you want to put that out there, I'm offering up 2 tickets to the networking event in May, so they're $25
Cool.
each. So, whoever you want to pick your winners to give, either one to somebody or 2 to one person, however you want to do it. I'm offering 2 tickets to the event in May.
Well, thank you for contributing to our little prize
Hey,
draw there. That's awesome.
You
That's
got to
very
give to
generous.
get, darling. You got to give to
That's
get.
very
Yeah.
true.
That's right.
Okay, we'll talk to Mike about that. That's great. Well, typically what we do after we talk all business is just kind of get to know you as a person. So if you don't mind telling us, what do you do besides work? I know you're a workaholic, but there must be something more to Elaine.
Well, you know, I have more downtime than people actually realize. So yeah, I camp. I love camping.
oh yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been a camper. Well, growing up, we always had a camper. We never did not own a camper. So I do camp a lot. I'm from a farm background, just C.R.C.A. farm just east of Calgary here. So I grew up showing cattle. And no better way to grow up than a farm, I'll tell you that. Sorry, city people.
We don't take offense.
Yeah, and I travel. I do love to travel. So I kind of missed out on my January-February trip this year because of some extenuating circumstances. But I'm trying to squeeze something in between my events in May and June if I can squeak away for a week somewhere. So I do love to travel. I love good wine, love good food. Hate bad wine, hate bad food. I'm extremely lucky. Have an extremely great list of extremely good friends in my life, so I'm very fortunate that way. But again, you got to put the effort and time into building your friend relationships as well. I got friends from grade 1 and grade 2 still.
I do not.
40-year-old plus friends.
that's
so,
very cool.
Yeah. So travel camp. I'm a cat lover. I have a dog. I got this little dog from my mother a few years ago.
Oh, cute.
So I still have this little dog running around, Chihuahua pug behind me. So he's so easy to keep. He's off leash. He doesn't wander. He's like the perfect pet. He's got the bladder of a saint. So I have to wake him up at 9:30 in the morning, going, "You getting up today?" You know. So big pet lover. I guess that comes from being on a farm.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I love laughing. I love having a good time. It took me 58 years to realize life's not that serious.
Ooh, yeah, we all got to get there
If
someday.
you take it too seriously, you'll
boring.
miss out
Yeah.
on living.
You don't have to be irresponsible to have a good time in life. So
That's true.
yeah,
Indeed.
so I've had a good one.
There is one point that I had added into the description, something that you had liked to, or that something you were interested in talking about, the importance behind getting multiple quotes when it comes to getting estimates that are around $15,000 or large amounts. In other words,
Yeah.
I may not have filled Carly in beforehand about some of these points, but that's life.
Thanks.
Right? That's life.
It's all
Now
good.
would be the best time, I guess, to bring that up. What would be the importance behind getting 3 different quotes, or just a majority or a variety of quotes before moving
Well, again,
forward?
like I said, it's your money. I don't care if it's $1,000 or $50,000 or $250,000 on a reno that you're doing, and there are $250,000 renos out there. You know, there's a lot of money in this industry. So not only protecting your hard-earned money, 'cause you go to work to protect this money, so you want to protect it by picking the right trade supplier or renovator. But again, the free knowledge that you're going to get just by talking to people, asking them questions, because they're also going to be asking you questions about your scope of work. So you're going to learn about the construction process from them talking to you, and you're also going to learn about them just as they speak, because you can tell how they speak.
Yeah.
And what the chemistry is. It's like a relationship that's going to could be a long one, could be several months before the reno's done. So there's got to be a good relationship there and a chemistry almost with your renovator, whether it's a man or a woman, because you got to get along because they're in your home or they're in your office, whatever you're renovating or building. So the importance of getting quotes, it doesn't have to be a big job. Get the quotes anyways. Get multiple quotes anyway, even on smaller jobs. It's your money. Why wouldn't you want to protect your money any way you can? It's free information.
Totally.
Right? And call me anytime. You know, I might not be the smartest duck out there, but I got a lot of things rolling around in my noodle.
Just have a chat.
I've had a lot of people call, and I'll spend half an hour on the phone with someone just explaining the process to them, and things to look out for, you know.
Totally.
Yeah, so
if people just searched contractors, or what would they, if they're not searching this specifically, I know it's a weird question, but just to find you, how would you pop up?
I think a lot of people, I do get a lot of a fair number of phone calls and people on the site. I think they Google Calgary Renovations and poof, it's there. You know, I come up there. A lot of people back in the day specifically want a female renovator. So they will Google construction women, Calgary, whatever. And I get a ton of, I get phone calls from women coming out of Fort Mac.
We pay attention to detail. Women.
Yep, exactly. So whether it's someone from Fort Mac coming out of the heavy hauler situation,
yeah,
I get those kind of phone calls too. There's still, unfortunately, women that do get mistreated in the industry. Still shake my head. It's 2022.
Yeah, it's not
and or why would we put up with that? There's one.
Yeah.
Because you certainly don't have to. But again, I've been fortunate. I've never experienced that, and I'm at job site every day. Not anymore, but have been. I've never had to put up with that circumstance. Luckily. Maybe they know I used to be a prison guard. I don't know.
I've had a couple run-ins with men in construction.
So no, that's not a factor. I've just been very fortunate not to have lived through that nightmare.
Yeah.
Of the female issue, the woman issue on job site or at work. But
yeah, when I was in I used to insulate. We had some men, my sister and I would deal with some of those. But nowadays, nobody's mean to me by it. I always get you're too pretty to be climbing around in attics.
Yeah.
Or I had a consultation the other day, and she's like, oh, I was expecting a boy to come to my door. And
Yeah.
it's just like funny too on the phone. Or I'm like, I'm coming. They're like, you are? You're coming to my house? I thought a boy.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but like we're still, I guess, a little
Oh, definitely.
underviewed. It's funny though. I'm like, I take it as a compliment.
Yeah, the women are still underpaid. That's a common known fact. I'm not going to get into that one.
Yeah, let's talk about the wage gap. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
the wage gap. But just how you're treated at job site. A lot of it too. I was at one particular job site where there was a girl going up into a site shack, and she slapped site sweep spot. Well, lady, come on. And yeah, we're not supposed to put up that ourselves. Well, then don't do it to him.
Yeah.
Right in front of my eyes. I didn't say anything, but it's like, because it wasn't my job site. But that kind of stuff still goes on.
Just making us look bad.
100%. So 50 steps, one step forward and 50 back on that from
Jumping
that
a mile
girl.
bag, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got really lucky. I'm the only girl in this business and this company here, but all the guys we work with are total gentlemen's.
Yeah.
Gentlemen's, that's not a word. Gentlemen,
Gentlemen.
plural.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if we all
Gentlemen's.
go out, sometimes we just do recreational activities.
Yeah.
They'll all be cooking food and they'll always bring me my plate first.
Nice.
They're all
That's what
very
it should be.
Yeah, they're all very
Totally.
courteous.
Yeah, yeah. My installers, my Centrovac guys, I've heard them actually at job sites saying, "Yeah, that's my boss," and they were proud of the fact they had a female boss.
Yeah.
And one of them was even older than me back then. So, go figure. It's just all a matter of how you present yourself, how you treat your people, how you treat people as well.
And what year you're stuck in.
Totally.
So Elaine, we got a couple questions that came in for you specifically.
Sure.
First question: how would you choose your 3 contractors for an estimate? And I mean, what methods would you use in order to find these contractors?
If I were the consumer?
Yeah, if you're the consumer, how would you go about choosing your contractors
Well,
for an
again,
estimate?
like I said before, you want to get a few different quotes from people. You go on, make sure you have your scope of work specifically written out, so you can maybe hand that to them. Maybe they'll take it away, and review it that way as well to give you the best answers or the best replies for what you need. So your scope of work in detail, and not super detail, but really good detail. The more detail, the better. You can never have too much detail. And again, talk to them, get them in your home, meet with them. If you have a bad vibe at all about anything, just say thanks for coming out, and don't feel bad about it. And especially as women, we function on the emotion more than men do. Oh, how am I going to tell him no? Just say thanks for coming out, right? And make it very clear.
Yeah.
Say, I've got a few other companies that I'm entertaining. I'll get back to you should I choose you. And you don't have to get back to them necessarily. I mean, it's nice if you can, but just
Yeah.
say, if I do choose to go with your company, you will be hearing from me. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And then if they don't hear from you, it's not a surprise. But it is nice to say, thanks, but I've gone a different route.
And they'll stop calling you trying to see if you're
That
moving
one
forward
yeah.
too. So,
So have your scope of work nice and clear. Definitely ask lots of questions. Have your questions written out for each time, so you're not winging it. You don't wing a $250,000 reno. You don't wing a $40,000 job on whatever it is. So know what you want. Follow your gut. The bottom dollar always plays a part in that. And nowadays, with the cost of goods that have gone up so much, there's really not a lot of wiggle room. But you know what? There's also a lot of competition out there. Always has been and always will be.
yes.
You're not the only renovator in town. You're not the only plumber in town. We all think we're that wonderful. Someone's going to come knocking at our door. So there might be some wiggle room even nowadays in this market, right? Because it's a busy one.
It's very busy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will stay that way.
That is a fantastic answer.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We do have another question aimed at you specifically, Miss Elaine. So, why did you stop being a prison guard? Yeah, because
Yeah, that was
I
actually- we
think
kinda
that kind
skipped
of
over
came out
that.
of nowhere.
Well,
You were a
Boom, prison guard.
That wasn't meant to be a topic of conversation.
Yeah,
but-
well, you can't just throw around you were a prison guard out of nowhere and expect nobody to
cool job.
wonder about it.
Well, I was very young. I was out in Drumheller. I went to college for correctional justice in Edmonton. Took corrections for a couple years. Did my prison training down in Kingston back in the day. Now I think Staff College might be in Saskatoon or maybe even Edmonton. I don't know where the federal prison staff college is now. And I specifically remember doing a tour of Fort Saskatchewan jail one time. It's not a prison, but it's a jail. And thinking, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be a guard. It was just awful. What did I end up doing? Being a guard. So I had my choice of prisons. They offered me Prince Albert, and that was sex offender prison back in the day and pretty heavy duty,
Ooh, yeah.
or Drumheller. And I thought, well, I better keep it in Alberta. So I did choose Drumheller. And again, I was young. You don't always know how to handle situations at the best of times. And I mean, I was, full of vinegar. For me to sit up in a guard tower 4 hours out of every day, and I was doing overtime, and I didn't love Drumheller at the time. Now it's one of my favorite towns in this province, because I camp a lot and I like the warm.
And the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And Loud as Hell Festival. As
Yeah,
well.
the festival,
Because
yeah.
we're familiar with where the prison is because there's that horse racing track right beside
Yeah.
it. They host heavy metal music festivals
Ah.
there.
And we go.
Loud as Hell
There-
Festival. Yeah,
I was gonna say I know
it's right
exactly what
beside-
prison you're talking
right
about.
beside the prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it was an okay. And right after I left, that was back in June of '85 when I left Drum. There was a major riot, so I got out just in time. And one female, not a guard, but one female did get cut up. So I didn't regret leaving there.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And then I ended up in construction. Go figure.
Probably safer and less
Well,
dramatic.
Yes, it is.
To an extent, yeah.
As long as you wear your PPE.
And I've
Yes.
never been hurt, and I move like a banshee. And luckily, I'm pretty careful at jobs. I've never had any accidents. So
Neither have I. I know the most of the guys I work with, like you guys have all had. He had the biggest accident of all. Obviously, decided to fall off a roof. I wouldn't say decided to.
It was a
but
publicity
publicity
stunt.
stunts.
Publicity
There we go.
stunt.
Yeah. So he fell off the roof. I don't know. I had a staple through a finger once,
Oh,
and I think
wow.
caught my shingle knife in my thumb once. But I was too scared to look, and I moved in. It was very tiny. Brody's like, "You're fine."
Yeah, it's not gonna fall off.
But yeah.
One of my installers popped his wrist on my drill one time, but other than that, no. I've never even had any WCB claims, so
That's good.
pretty lucky.
Yeah, very good.
Thank goodness for WCB. Let's say that. They
Yes.
were very, very
Shout out
helpful.
to WCB.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah.
Well, terrific. We've been bouncing around a little bit there, got into the personal questions, but touched base on a few other things that I think were important to bring up. So,
Well, behind
yeah.
business, we're all people, so the people aspect is important. Just like when I'm doing my interviews for membership application, do you camp? Do you drink beer? Do you do this? Do you go to the opera? You married, kids, divorced? It's
Right.
all that stuff makes us, all of us, who we are,
Totally.
and that flows into how we run our business day. So who we are is important, for sure.
Yeah, the person behind the seat.
could you recommend some of your favorite camping spots?
You know what? I'm 60's creeping up on me, but I'm still young enough that I haven't bought a permanent spot anywhere yet because I would find that ultimately boring. So I really go all over the map. I like the Drumheller nice and warm. I discovered Mount Kidd last year. I was there several years ago too. The most beautiful part of the province up Rocky View, Sundre, Rocky Mountain House, Sundre up there. Most beautiful part of this whole province is up there. So I really go all over the place.
Yeah, Brody, we've got
Fantastic.
to
Summer,
we've got
definitely.
to
I
go
try to get out
camping.
every couple weekends. Yeah.
We got to go camping in Drumheller. That'd be really cool.
Certainly.
We do go camping in Drumheller, but like not at the festival.
At the festival is
A
usually
different
where we're camping.
camping spot in
Yeah,
Drumheller.
Pinters and Drum is I think it's called Pinters and Drum right along the river there. You don't reserve, unfortunately, but
Just first come, first served
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, we mostly do Crown Land, so kind of just got to have a good truck to get in there.
See, that's the problem. I'd like to was exploring that route last year, but with my 1979, motorhome.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
no,
going
no.
4x4.
Yeah, you wouldn't
usually-
get in the Crown Land we go to. It's very
Yeah,
potholy.
no.
Yeah.
It's usually Crown Land because I like shooting as well when I'm out there and
Exactly.
can't camp anywhere and pull the trigger. So
No.
Gosh, shiver. You see that?
got a shiver. You chilly?
I don't know.
No,
Just
you're
hit
thinking
me.
about shooting. You're like,
Yeah, I'm
oh,
like,
it's
ooh,
just so
camping.
exhilarating.
Yeah.
Camping and
I used to be a
shooting.
marksman as well. I don't know if I would be anymore, but was a
You're
marksman.
just full of
Marks for me.
surprises. There you go. Pull that one out.
Oh.
There you go. Any more
Yeah.
questions?
We have no other questions from the online audience. I think I've asked my questions about the S.A.M Award.
Yeah, you offer a lot more knowledge, I think, than you're very obviously you've been public speaking for a while. You're very good
well
at just
versed.
yeah, offering all the knowledge. We don't have to really dig for it.
Well,
You're an
I was
open
also
book.
also, as a farm kid, we were in 4-H, so public speaking was. I still have my trophies for public speaking
Oh wow.
and showing cattle. So, yeah. But I must say though, through COVID and not having my events for a year or so, when I did my first live event, I think it was that's last November. I gotta say, I was nervous going up to the front of the room. It's like, Elaine, you've done this thousands of times. Why are you thousands of times? Why are you nervous? But I was. But that goes away pretty quick too.
Public speaking and I will never be friends. No, this is too
And I mean,
far away.
knowing your content,
Yeah, for sure.
that obviously helps too. So,
Yep.
so yeah, now I can add no pain to my membership roster, and when referrals come in for roofing, which they do,
Yeah, we'll have to get Mike.
I have to
Mike
get you
chatting to you
guys-
about
Get you
that.
back up on the roof without falling off the darn thing.
Well, you've done it a couple times
okay.
since then.
I'm on a roof every day.
More than
And,
attics, I'd say.
I don't mind getting up
Well,
on the roof because
almost
I've got a
every
flat roof house actually. It's just that first step, me getting down. I'm always nervous of that one. Otherwise, I'm fine going up, getting on heights, no problem. But it's just getting that one step.
I was not very good. I was good for most roofs, but I actually did service calls with him just to get the training for this position.
Yeah.
There was times where I'd be hooked in and everything, but I'd be straddling that roof, holding it almost in tears. There was that one roof where a 40-foot ladder was fully extended. I cried up there. I did.
No
I didn't do any
kidding.
work. He's like, "Can you pass me that?" I was like, "Nope, I'm not passing you this." He's like, "You're clipped in." I was like, "I don't want to fall still." I didn't fall. I made it down, but I remember halfway down the ladder, I was like, "My legs are gonna give out. I need
Yeah.
to stop and breathe," just like hugging the thing for dear life. So I'm very happy I'm not on roofs anymore, and if I am, it's no more than like a 15-foot where my ladder can reach. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're too young to get hurt. You're too young and pretty to get hurt.
Ah, you're the lot. Yes, thank you. Okay, well, I think we can. This is a pretty successful podcast. Pretty quick one, but I think that sums it all up.
Well, if anyone does have any other questions, they're like I said, Calgary Renovation Contractors.ca. My phone numbers are on there. If you have any questions about any portion of the reno world, and I certainly don't know it all by a long shot, but if you do have any questions about the process, how to hire a renovator, and other sort of stuff, certainly contact me anytime. I'll gladly talk to anybody on the phone.
We actually did get one last question in just before we ended here from Mike Payne, the owner himself. What is your vision for the C.R.C.A.?
Well, the vision, just like my original goal, was to end up being a resource for the consumer. So, I have to do that by promoting my members and getting them business and referrals as well when they come in, and or marketing them on a regular basis like I do, 365 a year. So to be a resource for the consumer, ultimately. So in order to do that, I have to build the association.
Resource for the consumer. That is a
Yep.
very valid goal.
Yeah,
No
we
doubt
put
about it. And everybody will be very grateful when they have access to something like that.
Great.
Of course, fantastic.
Okay, you're just looking at good sentence in there. I guess we can
Yeah.
wrap it up. I don't know why I'm so speechless today. I feel like I just I don't have too much to say. You guys you've been doing really good at that. Okay, well, thank you to everyone who viewed. Congratulations to Chad. Congratulations, Chad, for winning. We'll see you Monday at 3 p.m. for your chance to win.
Great.
Again, thank you, Elaine, for coming out here today and just blasting us with knowledge. I know I'm going to have to watch this thing back again just to pick up on everything because there was a lot to pick up on. I definitely learned a lot, and I know Birdie did, and our viewers did too. So thank you to everybody again. Make sure you check out all of our platforms and catch us next Thursday at 3 p.m. And I think we're having Caitlin here. I should have learned her business name before I said that. We'll see Caitlin next Thursday, I think.
Well, thank you
Okay.
so much for having me. That was wonderful. Lovely to sit and meet and see you guys again and learn more about you guys also. So thanks again.
Awesome. Okay. Well, take care, everybody.
I think that went off without a hitch.
Great.
Yes, great job, everybody.
Yay.